And a great big good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Cabin Fever podcast. It's Brent Bailey, and it's another great day. It's May the 6th, 2020, and I think the order of the day is release the giant Asian hornets. It is it's just absolutely another crazy day during the quarantines across the states, and I know a lot of folks have got their freedom back and they're out walking around and starting to enjoy somewhat normalcy, but we do want to just remind everybody to exercise caution and to get out there and enjoy life with wisdom. All right. As a lot of the states have come off quarantine, they begin piecing their life back together. We get news of something that they're calling murder hornets. That's something that's encouraging, and I guess that's just May of 2020. So far this year, we were looking at it from January to now. This is just a list of things that we've faced so far. Wildfires in Australia. The Pacific Ring of Fire had some eruptions of volcanoes that have been dormant for thousands of years. We've almost gone to war with Iran. A Ukrainian airliner was shot down. The coronavirus was announced in China. The impeachment of the president. Then it came to the U.S. Kobe Bryant and his daughter died in a helicopter crash. The UK withdrew from the European Union. There was major election mess-ups in Iowa. The president got acquitted. Italy went on lockdown. COVID-19 became the worldwide pandemic. New York City has been hit the hardest. The NCAA tournament, NBA playoffs have been canceled. I mean, we could just keep on listing things that have caused people all kinds of change this year. And wow, it has been, I don't know. Does anybody else think that we need to just tell 2020 that you just need to chill for a minute? It's kind of been a real pain, I think. That's fair to say, wouldn't you think? So that is going to bring us to our first guest today. I've had the pleasure of knowing this gentleman for over 38 years, and I never thought I would be old enough to ever say something like that I've known anybody that long. But he was a speaker at a youth camp that I went to when I was 11 years old. That tells you how old I am now. And he was a young, up-and-coming speaker that was in our denomination, and he was from India, and he was my first exposure to anybody from another country. I had grown up in northeastern Kentucky, never met anybody from another country, and I got to meet him. And not only did he really expose me to other culture, but he also began to expose me to life-changing relationship with God. I know that I got saved at that camp, got filled with the Holy Spirit at that camp, really had life-changing experiences. Then throughout the years, went to summer camps, and he was the morning class teachers. It was just it was almost like my teenage years were spent with this man, and in the summer times, and it was a real blessing. Now he's gone on to become one of the foremost authorities on leadership around the world. He's written a numerous amount of books, including his latter series of books, Bigger, Faster Leadership. He's also got one called Leadership Pain, The Classroom of Growth, Leading in Uncertain Times, The Culture Catalyst, the New Thinking, New Future. His new book's called Sequence to Success, and I am so pleased to have him on the program today. Please welcome Dr. Sam Chan, everybody. Sam, so good to have you here today.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. And while you were saying you didn't think you'd live long enough, I didn't think so either. But here we are. Here, I remember you. And what we did not realize as old, grown-up, fuddy-duddy, old ways of doing things, that there was an amazing leader inside of you. And Pastor Brent Bailey, what an amazing leader you are, your church, the people who follow you, your voice, even this program. It is just an honor and delight to be on this side and speaking to you and the hundreds, maybe thousands of people that will be tuning in. So just an honor to be with you.
Well, it really means a whole lot to have you here. I mean, I'm a product of your ministry, and I'm so grateful that you took the time and had the time to do this for us today. I wanted to just start real quick. I noticed just a few days, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago now, you did your a fundraising walk in the name of your grandson. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It was the Jam for Jude. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So thanks for bringing that up. So our grandson died in childbirth in 2012, which is just anybody who's ever experienced anything close to that can imagine the devastation for the parents, for the grandparents. And a few months later, we were sitting around our kitchen table, Brent, and saying to ourselves that death should not be in vain. There should be something that comes out of that. There should be a phoenix that rises out of the ashes. There's got to be something more than this. And so, after much prayer, diligence, and discussion, we started thinking about what we'd like to start a school in India, my hometown of India, in Lucknow, India, North India, to start a school. And his name was Jude Rockwell, and they simply call it Jude Rockwell Academy. And so every year we gather together close to his birthday, which his birthday is April the 28th. We gather together close to that birthday, and we just try to celebrate with friends. Even though he never breathed the air on this planet, he is giving life to literally thousands of people, and for that we are grateful. So that's what we were all doing a little walk here, a little walk there, trying to raise some money for good deeds. And so
and you had to kind of adjust some things because of COVID, but it seemed like everything turned out very well.
Everything turned out better than very well, really. I mean, except for the camaraderie and sweating on each other. People did virtual walks and they put up videos of walking around. My wife and I did the same thing. It was just a great time. And isn't it amazing how we have learned to pivot from one thing to the other?
Yeah, it's an absolute amazing thing that, I've heard from so many people. They've said that this has forced them to do things that they kind of had in their heart and they had in their minds, and it's just caused them to reach out and start doing this being one of them, this podcast. How pivoting is such the right word there. So I just wanted, I saw your brand new book, The Sequence to Success, and I got to pull up the description on it again, but there's 3 O's that direct us in our lives according to the description of the book. And you said that people observe us, form an opinion of us, and give us an opportunity. Can you give us a snapshot of it?
Absolutely. So I'm a leadership consultant, and I get to travel all over the world. I consult marketplace, administrative, sacred, and secular. And what I started thinking about is, how does anybody get anywhere in life? How do I end up in a room anywhere that I am? Pastor Brent, why would somebody invite you into their life? Why would somebody attend your church? Why would somebody buy your product? Why would somebody give you a promotion? Why don't you get a promotion? Why, instead of getting promoted, why did you get fired? So I became a student of the trajectory of leaders, and I realized it has 3 simple steps to it. People observe you, number 1. They form an opinion, and out of that opinion, you either get an opportunity to go up or down, because your opinions do 4 things for people. They will either promote, demote, stagnate, or terminate. So they do 4 things for you. So we got to know there's a camera on every one of us at all times. So that means somebody's observing us at all times. They're observing our voice right now. They're observing our pictures, our optics right now. They're observing what we do, what we don't do. Our lives are so transparent because of social media now. So people are observing us. They form an opinion out of their observations. So you just need to know everyone's got some kind of opinion about you, and you are where you are in life because of somebody's opinion of you. If Pastor Brent Bailey thought low of me, I would not be on this program. He thought high enough of me, so I'm on this program. So everything in life is based on those 3 O's. Somebody observes you, number 1. Number 2, they form an opinion. Number 3, they give you an opportunity or not.
So our guest is author, trainer of leaders, succession planning guru, and dream release coacher, mentor, Dr. Sam Chan. Now, you said in this that there's a lot of times that people just kind of glance at somebody and they just form an opinion immediately. That sounds.
We all do that.
That sounds. Yeah. It sounds though. Is that something that we should be working on to change, or should we be looking further, or is that something that, from our perspective as leaders, we need to be working on ourselves to project the right thing?
Well, it simply is. I mean, you're looking at the person driving in the car next to you and they're acting a certain way. You don't know them. You form an opinion. You are in a grocery store line. You're about to check out, and the first thing and you're trying to figure out which line to be in. The first thing you do is you check out the checkout person. If they seem to be on the ball, everything you walk into a restaurant, you form an opinion immediately. If you like it, don't like it, your server walks up to you, form an opinion. Is there going to be a good meal, good service or not? I mean, doesn't matter where you go into a church. When people walk into your church, I want everyone to know, all the church people to know, people form an opinion within the first 2-3 minutes whether they're going to come back or not. I mean, this is before your praise and worship has happened. This is before preaching has happened. I mean, opinions are being formed all the time, and I think that that's humanity. Now, what you do with those opinions, with those observations, and how you form your opinions, and your ability to change your opinion about a person talks about your maturity too. For example, in the Bible, when Paul is talking about Mark John, remember Mark John had a big falling out, Barnabas, and all that
Yeah.
happened, and then now Paul is in a Roman dungeon, and he's writing his last book, Second Timothy, and in there he says, "Send Mark John to me. He's profitable for me." Well, that is not a statement about Mark John. That's a statement about Paul changing his mind. And so it's okay to have an opinion, but I think maturity says I can change my opinion about that person too.
So the book is called The Sequence to Success, and I'm assuming that the sequence is working on all three of the O's. Am I correct in that?
Yes, all three. I have to ask myself, what are people observing? I can control that. Out of which I'm hoping if they observe the right thing, they will have a higher opinion of me and hence give me an opportunity. So when somebody buys my book, they give me an opportunity based on their opinion and their observation. So you can walk that dog front or back. And that's true for others too. I'm observing other people, I'm forming opinions, and then I'm saying whether I'm going to give them an opportunity or not. So everybody who's on your show, Pastor Brent, everybody who's on your show goes through that. You observe something about them, you have an opinion on them, therefore either you invite them or you don't. That's all of life now. So what that book does is in a simple manner, helps everyone understand how you can get ahead in life, how you can succeed in life when you can understand how those three things are deconstructed.
Educator, life coach, and minister Dr. Sam Chan is our guest today. I know that you have started the Sam Chan Leadership program. I think we're throwing it up on the screen right now. And you've got some announcements that you wanted to make about that or something today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really frustrated since these COVID days. So you are working out your frustration by the show that you are doing. Isn't that amazing? I mean, you have a message. You can't get back to Orlando's. You are in Kentucky, and so now I see a screen behind you. I see a professional microphone. I see an air screen. I mean, you are set up as a real pro over here, but you are getting your voice out. So your product is your voice, your product is your energy, your product is your encouragement, your product is spiritual leadership. So I get that my product is leadership, and I don't know how to get that out. So now, because I'm not out there, but I do have something that I want people to have. And so I know two things. People have a little extra time because no one's going anywhere much, but cash is low. People are low on money, or they are saving up money for more important things. So I have a program called the Sam Chan Leadership Institute. For years and years, we've been marketing that all over the world for $2,000, 2,000 US dollars. It's all online. People get 12 of my books. They get 4 video. That means a book a month. For 12 months, they get 4 of my videos that support those books. And so they get 12 books, about 50 videos, a certificate at the end of completion of the program. And it's been retailing for 2000. This is what we thought at our company, what we would do. We would say to people all over the world, pay whatever you want to. Imagine going to a restaurant for a minute, Pastor Brent, going to a restaurant for a moment, and there's all the menu items are there, but there are no prices there. And you call the server over and say, sir, ma'am, there are no prices. Say, oh, yeah, that's how it is. Order whatever you want and pay whatever you want. No prices. You just pay whatever you think is valuable. Well, isn't that a cool way to do things? That's what we are doing. So if you go to samchanleadership.com/COVID, COVID, samchanleadership.com/COVID, is going to ask you for two things: your information, so we can start sending you stuff. And number two is, how much do you want to pay? No pushback, no argument, no negotiating, just whatever you want to pay. And for that, every month you're going to get a book, digital book. Every month you're going to get 4 videos that will support that book. At the end of the 12 months, you're going to get a certificate in leadership. And so that's what we're doing. Whatever people want to pay is good with us. We just want to get the word out there and say, it's up to you. It's valuable. People have been paying $2,000. You don't have to. Just do what you can do. And you know what I'm finding out, Pastor Brent, as I'm talking to churches, what pastors are doing is saying, hey, there's no money coming out of our church budget on this one. So they are sending that slide of the information over to their entire church or the entire network.
Brilliant.
And saying, do what you got to do. So thousands upon thousands of people can have the opportunity to grow during this time.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Dr. Sam Chan has been our guest today. If you would like to reach out to him, you can do that at samchan.com. I believe that's going up on the screen right now. He's also got a YouTube channel under his name, Sam Chan, at Sam Chan on Twitter, at SamChan01 on Facebook, and Sam Chan Leadership on Instagram. Dr. Chan, it has been an honor and a pleasure to have you with, and we hope that you'll come back and be with us again.
I love you. Thank God for you. Keep doing it.
Appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your time in quarantine. I guess you're probably getting out and getting free now though, so right?
That's the idea.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you so much. That's Dr. Sam Chan from the Sam Chan Leadership Institute. And man, we're so glad that he had time to stop by and be with us today. If you'd like to get some of his product, it's there on the screen. You can sure enough reach out and take care of that. I am queuing up our next guest because during this time there has been lots of talk about food, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. I've dialed the wrong number. And so we're gonna keep trying to pull up our next guest. And excuse me while I that's a great thing about a live show, isn't it? You have to constantly be looking to do this on the fly. And that's one of the things that your support's going to help us do, is to hire some production staff so we don't have to do all of that. So during this time of quarantine, there's a lot of folks talking about food and comfort, and then there's a lot of folks talking about not being able to go to their favorite restaurant, and there's all kinds of things like that. And folks, the person that I'm getting ready to bring on right now has kind of become an expert on both of those things. She is the owner. Her and her husband Todd own Yoder's restaurant in Amish Village in Sarasota, Florida. This is the place of some legendary pies, some of the best comfort food in all of the world. During the holiday season, they make over 7,000 pies. I can't even imagine how that starts and what that looks like. But I've actually been there. The food is the real deal. I've tasted it myself. But they've also opened a produce market and a deli market and a gift shop. They have things like Amish candles and apple butter and, all the stuff that you would expect at a restaurant like that, or a village like that. It's called Yoder's Restaurant and Amish Village in Sarasota, Florida. And I want you to welcome to the program now. This is a good friend of ours, Mary Lou Emrich. Hi, Mary Lou. How are you? Welcome to the show.
How are you? It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, during this time, it was, we were just together with you guys in Hawaii, and I know that it's, it's been a little bit of an unusual time because we were all on the island when everything started to go south, and then now everybody came back to everything really just shut down. But you guys are kind of a staple in the Sarasota community, and now you're having to close your doors. What was that like?
It was surreal. I tell people it's kind of like a sci-fi movie or something. We hadn't closed our doors in 44 years. We've been in business for 44 years, and nothing like this has ever happened before. And we were we were in the conference in Hawaii, and it was such a divine appointment because of the peace and the bubble that the Lord had put us in. And coming home, we knew that there was a lot of changes coming down the pike, and we were kind of anxious to get home. But we came back the 19th, and on the 20th is when they closed the dine-in restaurants. And so we kind of hit the ground running, if you will, but we did it all by phone because we had to be quarantined for 14 days after
Oh my
flying.
goodness, yeah.
Yeah. The governor said if you worked in a restaurant, you couldn't be in a restaurant for 14 days. So, but we have a lot of good workers, and we just went through it. It was, like I said, it was surreal. We'd never done that. We had closed the gift shop, and we closed the dine-in. That was about 35 employees. And we kept the deli open and the produce open, and we have carry-out service as well at the restaurant.
Wow. And so has the carry-out service just been slammed? I can't imagine it hasn't been.
It has been very, very busy. And it's like we could almost see what was going on with the news, and it would we slammed, and then it'll be real quiet for a while, and then it'll be slammed again. So it's been real spurty. But we're blessed that we are a staple here in this area, and the Lord takes care of us, so we're thankful for that.
Yeah. Now, I was talking about the pies, and we're going to get to the real reason that we have you on is because you've had the Lord speak some encouraging things to you. But I don't want to wear out this pie thing, but because I know you got to talk about it all the time. But I've had the peanut butter pie, and it is absolutely amazing. And what you guys are doing there is absolutely incredible. And I'm not just blowing smoke here. That was a moving experience when we came and sat there. It was a really good.
Yeah. And you're a fan of peanut butter, I know.
Big time. Yeah. Did you see my post the other day where I cooked a steak in? Yeah.
I
I cooked a steak with peanut butter and jelly rubbed on it, and I'd heard about it, and so I tried it, and it was awesome. So, but anyway, so as you're going through the shutdown and you're going through the quarantine and you're kind of making adjustments. When we talked earlier in our pre-interview, you said that the Lord had showed you some really good things during this adjustment time that have been a really source of hope for you. What was it?
Well, it was a verse that we're well familiar with, and that is, He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, love, and a sound mind. And it was the sound mind part that stood out to me. And the Lord has given us a sound mind, and it's all about having your reins on your mind and on your thinking. And I said, like, there was a bubble that we were in Hawaii, and that we brought back with us. But we had plenty of ample opportunity and challenges where those thoughts would come, where you had to take them and put them aside to stay in your bubble of peace. And because of being in this place we'd never been in before, so unfamiliar, and loss of business, and employees out of work, and lots of changes, unfamiliar territory. And so it was that verse that for me took me through, and keeping my peace, and challenging myself to keep that peace, and recognizing when you lose your peace that you can just, I say, change what you're looking at, change your focus, and change it back to looking at the Lord and the peace that He has given us, and just like that, it would come back, just like that bubble would be there. And so thankful for that, because we don't want to go through this without having peace. We can go through things, but
That's right.
If we don't have peace, then there's an internal battle, and we need to have peace on the inside so that we can walk with grace on the outside.
Well, that's so good. So you said something there, and I know some people would almost kind of overlook that. You said that there are things that can come in and you can lose your peace. And a lot of folks quit right there because they go, this doesn't work. But you said that you had to pull yourself back to what was giving you peace. That's so important for people to understand.
I noticed that what it was dependent on what I watched, what I let come into my mind, what I thought on. It could be people, it can be the news media, it can be other people's fear can get on you, and other, all the uncertainty, and different people respond differently to it, obviously. But it's important that we don't let anyone or anything rob our peace, because that's our covenant right. And I don't want to go through this, and none of us want to go through this without having peace on the inside. It's challenging enough, and as leaders, it's important that we display that to our people, because if they see us as fearful, then they take that. It's more about how we make people feel than what we tell them, and they can tell the countenance that we have. And it's so important as a leader to give that surety to your people. And I think that's as vital as anything you can do as a leader.
Our guest is a former Bible school instructor, businesswoman, and minister, Mary Lou Emrich of Yoder's Amish Restaurant and Village in Sarasota, Florida. So now you guys are open, I guess, back up now. You're allowed to be open, but it's only at a 25%, I believe, right?
25%. Monday, the governor allowed us to open and restaurants to open. Inside dining, 25%. If you have outside seating, you can have more outside seating. But we found that people are kind of timid. They're kind of like waiting and watching to see what will happen, at least in this area. And the carryout is still very strong. And we're looking at how to do things differently. We're going to start up a delivery service and want to deliver some homemade pies, good comfort food in a time of need,
Come
right?
on now, that's good.
Have to bring one to Orlando for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, how far is that delivery service that you come to Orlando?
Special delivery for special people.
Hey, all right, I'll take that. But now when you open back up on Monday, I know you guys had posted something on social media that was kind of the girls at the front, welcoming people back. Mm-hmm. Was the response in the community good? Did you have a good crowd? I mean, I guess as much as you can.
Well, it wasn't. We did not fill up the 25%, so
Okay.
It's been a little hesitant. The people are a little hesitant to come out.
And that's okay.
But there's some. And it's nice to gradually, like a soft opening, get back to normal, whatever that is, whatever normal is.
Yeah, whatever the new normal is. Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right. So as we're going out, you guys have been looking forward to the future. You were telling me that your daughter's coming home from college here in just a few weeks, and you're already thinking about some futuristic plans. Some folks are so desperate in the middle of something like this that they don't even want to think about the future. But here I was talking to you, and I found myself getting encouraged about the future too, because you're already thinking about what's next. That's so important.
Well, I believe that God always wants us to increase.
Yeah.
And to go to the next level. And we've been feeling that inside for a while. And the Lord has shown different things that we know that there's more coming. And isn't there always more with Him? A better way to do it, or a bigger way to do it, or out of the box thinking. And that's what we're looking at, because we've been in business 44 years, and we're in the second and third generation, and we want to take it further. We want to take it further and more for the glory of God. We want to bring God glory through Him showing off. And so we're looking and we're expecting, and our daughter coming back is a big step, and she's coming back into the business as well. So it's a family-run business.
Yeah, she's coming with a business plan of some kind of part of the division of the restaurant.
She is. The Lord had instilled upon her an idea, one idea. She was like, Lord, if you want me to go back to the restaurant, then help me be excited about it. And He did. He dropped it in her spirit about marketplace ministry, and in a just a common way to reach people and to reach their hearts, and to make that available. And she drew up a whole business plan with a team of 5. They did that in the ministry school there at Karis, and they worked on that all year and just did the final presentation yesterday, and it went very well, very well. And we're excited. Awesome. She'll be coming back in the end of June.
Mary Lou Emrich of Yoder's Restaurant and Amish Village in Sarasota, Florida. You can find them online at yodersrestaurant.com. They do sell gift cards ahead of time, so if you want to come prepared, they do sell them right there on the website. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram at Yoder's Restaurant, and they are on TripAdvisor with some, I think it was an award for excellence or some kind of destination award or something like that. So make sure that you go by and visit those folks if you're coming to the Sarasota area, or Florida's open for business. So come on back down and see us in Florida, and go by and make sure that you see Mary Lou and Todd and the whole family at Yoder's Restaurant and Amish Village. Mary Lou, thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thank you, Brent. It's my pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that we get to come down and see you real soon.
I'd like that.
All right. Give Todd our love and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
All right. That's Mary Lou Emrich of Yoder's Restaurant and Amish Village in Sarasota, Florida. I want to remind everybody that this Thursday, that's tomorrow. Oh my goodness, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be having a very special edition of the Cabin Fever podcast. And if you're a mom, you want to definitely tune in and watch the program. My wife, Jody, is going to be hosting a special edition of the Cabin Fever podcast tomorrow. The guests are going to be her mother, Sharon, her sister, Jenny Stavali, and their very good friend, Christine Martin. They're going to be celebrating moms and ladies alike. But it is Mother's Day week, and so they're going to be celebrating moms tomorrow. And I want to encourage you to please tune in tomorrow at 2:30 for a very special edition of the Cabin Fever podcast. I want to thank you for sharing the podcast on social media. Those of you who watch, please click the share button and let people know about us. Retweet us on Twitter. We are live there. We are also now broadcasting on Instagram Live as well. So we're on several different platforms, and you can tune in to watch that on there. We also have a YouTube channel, and we would encourage you to subscribe to that and help us to spread the word all the more. All of our podcasts are also on a plethora of audio podcast sites. There you can see them: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, and of course all of the video platforms, including Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. We are on all of those. I want to thank you for your financial support. This started as something that we just wanted to do positively in the face of COVID-19, and wow, this turned into something that we just have not really expected it to from the very first day. My father-in-law was the first guest. I'm going to have him back on, but I just couldn't fathomed the response that we would get from everybody. So I just want to thank you for that. If you would like to support the podcast financially so that we can upgrade, hire some production staff and things like that, you can do that. You can actually give. If you want to text, you can text the amount that you want to give to 84321. You're going to receive some instructions on the screen. You're going to look for Direction Church. Now, that is our giving platform, and the church really does help to put this podcast on. But we don't want to pull out of the church's budget, especially during this time, in order to be able to do what we're doing here. But your gifts are tax deductible. So if you'd like to give to help support the podcast, man, it would help us so much to really take this up to the next level that we believe that it needs to be at. We're so grateful for you and those of you who already began to support us financially after Monday's show. Thank you so much for those that are doing that. We can't go forward without you. All right. This Friday, I have on the show with me skateboarding legend Eddie El Gato Elguera and South Carolina news anchor Joe Ripley. Next week, it's going to be another great week of shows highlighted by Major League Baseball star Darryl Strawberry and his wife Tracy. They'll be joining us next week on the podcast, as it's going to be a banner week again. Thank you so much for your support. We love you so much. We pray that you have a great rest of your day. Why don't you get outside and enjoy the Cabin Fever?